As we discussed earlier, and we've been together for a few hours now. It was after 11:30 that we came to your house today. We want to discuss the deaths of Heather Wilkinson and Gail Patterson today with you. When we were at the house earlier, we discussed that you hadn't really been kept in the loop, and it had come as news to you that Heather and Gail had both passed away. Following eating at your house, Donald, Ian, Gail and Heather all become so ill that they ultimately ended up in the intensive care unit at both the Daniel Hospital and then moved to the Austin Hospital. Right. Following that, they had a deterioration in their condition, and that they become so ill that their livers have failed. Right.
Okay.
Donald underwent transplant last night. Okay, and his condition is still extremely critical as of last report. Heather and Gail passed away. Right. In relation to Ian, I don't have a current prognosis in relation to where he's at. As of late yesterday, the diagnosis isn't great for him either. Right. We're trying to understand what has made them so ill. You understand?
Yeah.
Why we're asking these questions.
Yeah.
Conversely, we're trying to understand why you're not that ill. Okay. So you understand why we're interviewing you today?
Yeah, I do. But I'm sure you understand too that I've never been in a situation like this before, and I've been very, very helpful with the health department through the week because I wanted to help that side of things as much as possible because I do want to know what happened. Yep. So I've given them as much information as they've asked for and offered up all the food and all the information about where the food came from.
No, I fully understand that.
Yep.
All right. At the house, and I must say, for the record again, you were very helpful at the house, and you did point out a couple of things for us that will help us with our investigation. Mainly the fruit platter that you said Heather bought for you, and the gravy in the fridge in the pantry that you said was from the night, and you kept on advice from the health department. So thank you for that. You also pointed out a recipe book on the counter, and you referred me to page 250 odd, a recipe for beef Wellington that you indicated was the recipe that you cooked. Okay. All right. On what we saw at your address in Leongatha. We didn't see a lot of food from Asian grocers or Indian grocers or those kind of stores.
To look in my fridge, I've got a lot of Asian cooking stuff in my fridge.
Yeah. Obviously, we've got concerns in relation to these mushrooms and where they've come from. Okay. Is that something you've done in the past, foraging for the mushrooms or anything like that? Never. Right. Do you preserve foods or anything like that?
No.
Have you ever dehydrated food or anything like that? Okay. You've described to me a relationship with your ex-partner Simon. I'd like to understand why you had his parents and his uncle and auntie over for lunch on the 29th of July.
Because I've got no other family, so they're the only support I've got left, and they've always been really good to me.
Yeah.
And I want to maintain those relationships with them in spite of what's happened with Simon.
Yep. Okay.
I love them a lot. They've always been really good to me. And they always said to me that they would support me with love and emotional support, even though Simon and I were separated, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
Because my parents are both gone.
Yeah.
My grandparents are all gone. They're the only family that I've got.
Yeah.
And they're the only grandparents that my children have. And I want them to stay in my kids' life.
Yeah.
And that's really important to me. And I think Simon hated that I still had a relationship with his parents. But I love them.
Yeah.
Nothing that's ever happened between us, nothing he's ever done to me will change the fact that they're good, decent people that have never done anything wrong by me ever.
So we've been told that on the 31st of July, so 2 days after the lunch, you went to the Leongatha Hospital, okay, and that you were only there for about 5 minutes and then you left. Can you explain why you went there for 5 minutes?
Yeah, because I just went there thinking I needed a couple of bags of saline because I was really dehydrated. And they said, we want to admit you and send you to Melbourne.
Yeah.
And when you've got animals at home,
yep,
and children who have multiple after-school activities, you can't just be told to drop everything and you're off to Melbourne for overnight. So I had to go home and feed the animals and pack my daughter's ballet bag.
Yep.
And I did that.
Yep.
And I went back.
Okay.
And he said, oh, what's your name? And I said, Erin. And he said, oh, we've been expecting you because other people that you ate with on Saturday were sick.
Yep.
And he said, can you come through? And I said, sure. And I came in. And then he said to me, I can't say the exact words, but he said something along the lines of, we've got a concern they've eaten death cap mushrooms.
Okay.
And I said, what? And he said, yeah, that's what we think they've eaten.
Yep.
And then he started asking me about what food I served them, and I told him.
You were at home and present when we did a search warrant today, all right? I know you weren't watching everyone at all the time, but I just want to go through on tape some of the stuff we've, and like I said, we'll give you a copy of this, everything we've seized. Kitchen, far left bottom drawer, instruction manual for a Sunbeam food lab, electronic dehydrator. What's that in relation to that? Do you know anything about a dehydrator in your house? Or?
No.
Okay. Do you own a dehydrator?
No.
Okay.
I've got manuals of lots of stuff I've collected over the years. I've had all sorts of appliances and I just keep them all in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When did you own a dehydrator?
I don't know, I might have had one years ago.
Okay. What did you use that for?
Like when I first got the Thermomix, I got really excited about like making everything from scratch,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
and
Yeah.
I did a lot of, you know, like everything from scratch ingredients, and I did a lot of that, so I could have had something like that
Okay.
back then.